activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
Welcome back, everyone. 31 after the hour, and if you were listening to yesterday's show, we went through the state of Ohio and the 4 different groups that are vying to put some sort of reform on the next ballot. Joining us from Ohio, we've got one of my favorite people in the world, Tonya Davis from Responsible Ohoians. Hi, Tonya. How are you?
Hey, Russ, you are also one of my favorite people.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And boy, I tell you, as I mentioned yesterday, it used to be, you and I go way back, and it used to be back in the day, you'd struggle just to get one group together to try to put something on the ballot. Now you guys have an embarrassment of groups. There's like 4 different groups working here. Can you give us a rundown of what's going on in the state of Ohio?
I just think different people are doing different approaches. Ohio is such a strange animal.
Well, let's start with your group, Responsible Ohoians. Tell folks about your group and what you're proposing for legalization.
Well, basically, we're proposing freedom. We're proposing to end prohibition. We want to be able to grow our own if that's what we want to do. We want to be able to have our choices. We want a free market. I was originally just for medical use, and now I just want to end prohibition altogether.
What changed your mind on that? What was the shift from going to just medical to wanting to go full legal?
Because just the mention of the word marijuana freaked out children's services here in Ohio, and because I was an activist, I automatically had to be a substance abuser. And so they refused me, my granddaughter, who needed placement with me temporarily. So prohibition hit me, and they had never even drug tested me.
Wow.
And to call me a substance abuser was just wrong, So I saw the other side of it. Of course, medically, this would benefit me greatly and benefit millions of Ohioans. But prohibition, too, as Rob Ryan would call it, affects everyone, and it tears apart families, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, it's something I've always said that, patients can never truly be protected until they don't have to prove they're not criminals. You know what I'm saying? It's like if no one's a criminal, then we're all protected.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, let me talk a little bit about this initiative that you're proposing, because it is one of the most liberal ones I've seen. I would compare it to the California Cannabis Hemp Initiative, so-called Jack Herer Initiative. You're proposing 99 plants, 99 kilograms, and the release of all marijuana prisoners. Is this a tough sell in Ohio when the other states have only legalized, 6 plants, 4 plants, a few ounces here and there?
Well, I don't. People thought Jack Herer was crazy. I think he was a genius. He was one of my favorite people in this world. But, no, they ought to just end prohibition, period, on it. And if you grow, I'm not suggesting that people go out in their backyard and grow 99 plants. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But under the federal law, it doesn't become a federal problem until it's 99 plants. Right?
Right, yeah, 100 plants.
If I'm correct.
Yeah, 100 plants kicks off that mandatory minimum.
Right. So why not just end prohibition altogether? Cincinnati has finally come to its senses and not going to punish people or whatever if they've had a record on cannabis. So people just need to get with the program, you know, and I apologize if I'm sounding a little rough. I'm suffering from a concussion.
Oh, no.
I had a 5-drawer filing cabinet fall on me.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
I was just in the ER 2 days ago, so.
Well, you're doing great.
For the second time, so bear with me.
You're doing fine, Tonya. We appreciate you being here and fighting through that like you always do. We have a question from our chat room. Jay Maestro wants to know, how do you feel about this 800-pound gorilla, the cartel monopolists, appropriating your name?
That doesn't surprise me, because when I was involved with the Ohio Medical Compassion Act, there was another group that went very close to that. So this doesn't surprise me. It's just a way to confuse people. You know, I was on the website looking at this monopolies political action committee, and they keep hollering that they have funding, they have funding, they have funding, and this is what the media is just falling in love with. On all their funding, it shows 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So I'm not seeing the money. So I wish people would just quit falling for that, you know. I will tell you this, though, Russ. We've got a musician that has approached us that when we do get our wording submitted and approved, our summary, which will be submitting it in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, we will have funding. So we can't wait for that. I mean, we're just real excited about that. I believe that the monopoly group should not be limited to just 10 people. You know, that's wrong. If anyone wants to get into the market, they should be able to get into the market. And I should be able to purchase or grow my own if that's what I choose to do. That should be my choice, not someone else's.
We're speaking with Tonya Davis from ResponsibleOhoians.org. They're proposing a marijuana legalization, 99 plants, 99 kilograms, all pot prisoners freed, low taxation, etc. You can see all the details. They've got their amendment text up there. You can actually read it as compared to Responsible Ohio, which is just putting out some summaries and not really giving much in the way of details. Now, with the funding that you've got coming, and supposedly Responsible Ohio is going to have some funding, although we haven't seen evidence of it yet, do you anticipate there's going to be 2 of you moving forward? And if so, any ideas on maybe changing your name or forcing them to change their name?
Well, Responsible Ohioans for Cannabis became a group in 2011. And life has thrown us different things our way that have slowed us down. And our wording was rejected the first time around. So Donnie and I have been working on this and trying to get the wording correct so that our Attorney General and our Secretary of State will approve it and get us going on this.
Okay. And
but no, we're not going to change our name.
Okay.
Why should we?
Well, that's right. You were there first.
Sorry.
No, I was just saying you were there first. Like you said, 2011, you've been a PAC since then. You'd think they should have to be forced to change their name.
Yeah, or so what? Actually, with them doing this to confuse people, what it's doing, it's sending more people our way. So we're getting volunteers out the kazoo because people are thinking that we are one or the other. Don McAdams is here, so I'm so excited. He's going to be talking to you guys too, okay?
Well, we've just got about a minute left, Tonya.
1 second, Russ.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we only have about a minute left, Tonya, but I encourage everyone to check out ResponsibleOhoians.org. And the other groups that are looking to reform in Ohio are Legalize Ohio 2016 and OhioRights.org. The Ohio Rights Group is moving forward with medical marijuana. We've got about less than a minute left. Dawn, if you're on the line, if you'd have anything you wanted to say to our audience.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Donnie, you've got 1 minute. We got 1 minute.
Hello.
Hey, Don, I apologize. We've only got about 30 seconds left in this, but if you're going to be hanging out at Tonya's place, could we get you guys back on the line for hour 2?
For you mean later on?
Yeah, in about 20 minutes, yeah.
Well, I am kind of cutting off of work right now, but I can.
Okay, hang out for another 20 minutes. We'll call you back at the top of the hour because we got plenty more to talk about. We don't have enough time here in this first hour, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Don McAdams and Tonya Davis from ResponsibleOhoians.org. Check them out and give them all the support you can. We're trying to get past everywhere we can, and it's always frustrating when you have multiple groups working on the same thing. It's something that we had to battle with in Oregon. Maybe it's a feature of states that start with an O. I'm not sure. Well, that's not true. They got the same problem in California. Anyway, we got to take a break. The anti-drug public service announcement of the day is next, followed by a radical rant. John Kitzhaber, more people voted for legal weed than voted for you, fella. Better pay attention. Elections have consequences. We're back right after this.
You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.